What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Daniel back at it again with another WPF podcast. I'm on the fucking bike. It is 2:30 a.m. I just got home from work and I am so tired.
What are you doing on a bike at 2:30 in the morning?
Well, I just finished my night shift. It was very cool. I was cycling home with a girl.
Oh,
It was awesome.
I'm jealous of
That
that.
does sound pretty awesome.
Yep, for sure. Wait, yo, Jace, you should slot yourself in Series 9 for Citrus, by the way.
Daniel, you should slot yourself into the girl you were biking home with.
Yeah, there we go.
I should probably do that.
There you go. Hello, everyone. Welcome
Unfortunately,
to
we're not.
WPF's new podcast.
We both went our own ways.
I'm dying.
There's always tomorrow.
I'm making it sound more dramatic than it seems, but she lives like 10 minutes away from me.
That's still. I don't think you ride I don't think.
Uh,
So in Australia, if you ride a
it's-
bike with someone, and they're of the opposite gender.
I mean,
it's
that's
I
official.
live in the Netherlands where we have like more bikes than people in the country.
That's
so
true, actually.
Really, so
It's
really,
like all
it's not
bikes.
that big of a deal.
That's like how in Japan they have like 5 vending machines for every one person. That's a
Yeah,
fact.
yeah,
Don't look it
exactly.
up.
Yeah, like that, but it's bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to the Netherlands once. There was bikes everywhere. It's true.
Who are we, by the way? We should probably actually do
Oh
that.
yeah, that's true.
Who are we?
You can go first.
Okay. Hi, my name is Keith. Or Kyeth, I think. Is that how you pronounce it?
Rather than
Sorry.
Keith, I was doing it like Kieth. You know.
Yeah. Okay. My name is Keith.
I just say like Keith,
And
like just a very broken Keith. Like just say Keith.
Now, Kith? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, Keith.
because
That
my name
works
is
too.
spelled K-I-T-H. It's very important that you pronounce my name properly. And yeah, I'm a human.
Yeah.
Yo,
Wow, look at you, big human guy.
big human.
Rubbing it in the faces of us,
Big
Mothman,
human.
anime
No,
character, and
it's
shadow person.
I have to
Good
say
flex.
this because I live in Australia and there's a 50% chance
That's
I'm really
true.
just a poisonous spider pretending to be
Yeah.
human,
No, that's a
waiting
good
for you
point.
to sit on the
Kangaroo.
toilet and bite, so I can bite you on the ass. Which I might do anyway, but I'm not a poisonous spider that's going to do that.
Are you?
Okay, so we heard from Daniel. That's Keith. I'm Kachurin. You can call me Catch. This is our guy of the WPF. You know how it is. Hello.
He's a Zenduck alt.
That's true. I am
True.
a Zenduck.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
Man, if only I was as cool as Zenduck. Did you see him kill 3 Mons with Bandit Charger Bug in his Beator the other day?
Yup.
It might have been the
He's
best
a-
moment
he's a
of my
monster.
life, honestly.
It
He is
was
so
pretty
cool.
incredible.
Big deal.
It truly was.
Do you guys expect Chargebug not to take 6 kills every game? It's Chargebug.
You're right. It's kind
It
of
is
deep.
Charger
I
Bug.
honestly
Immediately.
don't understand why we still have it at one point. It's pretty disrespectful. Anyway, the final member of our podcast today should probably introduce themselves before we get too off the rails.
Hello, I am Jace, the washed VGC player. I went undefeated for 1 season and then never again made an impact. But I'm a mod, which is something.
Did you go like 8-0 then 0-8, please? Like perfect.
I
synergy.
wish. I
Oh.
should have. It would have been much less embarrassing.
Yeah, then you could have just pretended you were a real like Thanos enthusiast sort of thing, you know?
Yeah. Oh, all things
Yeah,
perfectly,
perfectly
balanced.
balanced.
Holy
Yep.
shit. That's a deep cut reference right there. Well, not, but it's been a
It's-
little.
I'm gonna be honest, that's the most normie reference I'm probably gonna make all day. So, yeah, we're all mods at WPF, we might have said it, and this is for the WPF podcast, which is something we decided to do because we were bored, and also, I think because, we were bored, we want to help community engagement, and Riz has kidnapped poor Vini the Winnie, and has locked him in a basement, and will not
Yeah.
give him
Oh,
water, food,
based.
sunlight,
I fucking hate
anything
Vinny.
until we
Yeah,
do.
if you frequent the WPF server, you might have seen Rizzo's new house that he's having built. They finally put the floor in, and that means they've also got a basement, and that's where Vinny's locked away
Yeah.
right now. So we've got to do a podcast to save him.
Yeah, well, we're not even freeing them, just giving them food.
Yeah, even just
Yeah.
food.
Because
Maybe
It's
if we
funny
do
that
a really good job.
you led with we're doing the podcast because we're bored. And then the second thing you said was, and also, there's a rat man locked in Rizu's basement. And
Gonna
he
be
said
honest-
that if we didn't do a
what the
podcast, he
correlation
wouldn't
is
let him
between the two, but I like it.
Gonna be honest, if I
It-
wasn't bored, I
it's
wouldn't
secondary.
be saying Vinny. You know. That's-
Yeah, it's true. I got other things. Like, if I had other things to do.
Yeah. So this is gonna be, I think, roughly bi-weekly, or something like that. That's what we sort of discussed, and we don't exactly have a format, and the actual people that will be on it will rotate a lot, depending on who's available, what matters. I think there's plans for the next one to have.
It's gonna rotate in this episode as well because my phone is at 3%, and it's 2:30 in the morning, and I'm outside.
Okay. Final words, Daniel.
So
quickly.
when is HCK coming here? I need him. I need him to sub in for me.
We don't know. I think he's ghosting us.
I think.
Man, I can't believe him.
Yeah.
He does not get the TDTTM invite anytime soon.
So true.
Oh no! Wait, is that your Berlin server?
That is my
No.
private server with with the greatest people alive, such as Ultra Paul and nobody else.
I
And
can't believe
Zenduck,
you would
never
say
mind.
that when I don't know if any of us are in that server. That's so mean,
It's-
Daniel. All I've ever wanted in
I'll
life was
think
to be
about it.
invited,
If
and then you
beat me
show up
in-
to this
beat me in the
podcast.
Citrus finals, I'll consider it.
Beat you in Citrus Finals?
Yep.
Daniel, you're supposed to make it a challenge?
Jeez.
Fair enough. All right, boys, I'm
Come
gonna
on.
bike home now. My phone is suddenly at 1%. Good luck.
Okay,
See ya,
have fun.
Alright, see ya.
Daniel.
Oh yeah, also we should say we're part of mods of WPF, the World Pokemon Federation Draft League. To be honest, if you're listening to this and you don't know what that is, I'm fucking
How'd you
astounded.
find us?
Yeah, I'm fucking astounded. Yeah, and so we'll have a bunch of these planned rotating casts. Like, I think the planned second one, if it goes to plan, won't actually have any of us, because it's I think Vinny wanted to do one. That's part of his being fed condition. He gets fed,
Yeah,
and he has to record.
Ideally, the situation is we do this podcast, and then the next one, they just kick all of us off and get new people.
Yeah. What's happening with the WPF? Well, we've got a
Bro.
new season coming up.
Yeah. Apps close on Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday, the 20th. Reveals the following weekend. Very exciting. I'm excited.
There are so many awesome applications for Psycho Boost and Attack and Speed and Defense and Regice, Regirock, and Registeel. I'm so glad we have 6 awesome divisions. 6?
Yeah.
4 plus
Six.
7.
Yeah. So we're a 9-division league, by the way. Yeah.
We don't
Yeah,
talk about
those
the other
apps.
If you do know anything about VGC, please apply, or I will glass
Well,
you.
I mean, when are you putting this up? Are apps still going to be open?
I don't know.
Probably not. Just before recording, for
yeah,
those
just leave it in. Yeah, just leave it.
Yeah.
2 returning coaches, finalists actually from last season, pulled their apps at the same time, and
Yeah,
we've
it's pretty
had
incredible.
other returning coaches pull their apps for Weather in the last few days, and Weather was already struggling for apps, so
that's
pulling back
Yeah,
the
we
veil a
did-
little bit.
well.
And it's not like we haven't been plugging either. Anyways, this isn't the complaint about
No.
how nobody loves me
But why don't we
podcast.
talk?
I mean, it can be.
Why don't we talk about the stuff that each division is doing? So, regular.
Woo!
I think part of the reason why we don't have that many weather applications is probably because I think at least some people are signing up to regular format because we unbanned
Yeah,
a bunch
standard.
of Pokemon.
Oh yeah,
I don't know the list because
I got it open. I could rhyme it all off for you right now. It's not like too long, but you got so rather than just an 18-point max point value, we now go up to 20 points. And unbanned 20 points. You got Mega Alakazam with no special attack boosting moves. You got Ash Greninja with no spikes, which is a weird one. But I think they just
That was
said
our
no
choice?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ashgram with no
just-
spikes?
Well, I think the thought process was Ashgren is fine to just be 20 points. You don't really need to complex ban anything on it. But they wanted to complex ban something, so they're like, yeah, fuck it, get rid of Spice. Dragapult's also there with them because it's Dragapult. You got Libero Ace with no U-turn, Darkrai with no special attack boosting moves.
Are you allowed boots and Libero Ace still?
Yes, boots are allowed. No
Oh,
U-turn.
that's hot. That's still hot.
And Kieran Black with no speed boosting moves. Shaman Sky with no Sieve Flare. Zamazenta Crowned, it's just Zamazenta.
Yeah.
Okay, who's gonna draft Shaman Sky, Togekiss, and Jirachi on the same team? It's gonna happen on one of the 4 Deoxys.
Yeah, surely it will. And then
that's free win.
Just the last one was Naganadel down at 18 with no Nasty Plot, and those are all the complex, ridiculous unbans that we've got. So yeah, a lot of people apping for standard Deoxys divisions.
I just realized something. Cinderace has Baton Pass, right? So it's still got pivoting.
Yep.
And that's broken.
Oh.
Yeah. It can pivot with that, but it's obviously much less effective than Stab U-turn.
Yeah, well, because the thing with Stab U-turn is that, like, you poured in your bulky water and then it did, like, 30% to it anyway, and it's like, stuff.
It's like, well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
wait, so the strat is to boost your opponent's stats, and then they click Baton Pass, and then you win because they forfeit because they Baton Pass.
Yep.
See, that's something that actually happened. Something like that actually happened in the league I run. I don't need to talk about it too much because it's like super unleague. But yeah, our Baton Pass clause was intentionally broken by the opponent, like adjusting the stats of the person using Baton Pass, and then there was a whole episode about like what do we do now? So now the wording on the document is very specifically self-inflicted.
That's
stage changes.
Fucking genius, and I love it.
It was something.
Whoever did that, they need to be like, put them on like, the freaking NASA or something. They will come up with ideas. They might not be the best.
NASA, yeah.
Yeah, now I was trying to think of like, I'm like, what's a big, strong, smart person board, and I couldn't think of one.
Yeah, sure, NASA.
Or
jail, either or.
And that was that's standard. So we've got a few unbans. I think a lot of it was to spice it up because this is before the Gen 4 game drops. If that's going to have any impact on it, who knows? But it was before that dropped, and it's not part of like this season isn't registered as part of the what's its name tour? What was that?
The sports circuit. Yeah.
Yeah. So
there's no sports circuit points to be gained from this season. So
we thought this would be a good way of bringing in some new people and really sort of keeping interest high.
Really, basically, everybody's just bored with standard, so wanted to unban a bunch of stupid stuff and make it more fun.
And who knows? Maybe they can stay around. But then we've got our Reggie divs, and I think they're 3 really cool formats. I
agree.
Low tier, just standard sort of tier 3 and below. You've got Insurgents, so based on the fan game Insurgents, so you've got a bunch of deltas.
That's wild. There's
a million Pokemon, crazy.
Bunch of new moves. It's ridiculous.
It's it's just a cool idea, and the one that I've headed up and tiered myself, Gen 5, and I'm really excited for that.
Gen 5.
And
permanent weather.
Yeah, we've gone with the idea of legalizing permanent weather, but banning the speed and evasion boosting abilities just in general.
Rip to my boy Sandslash.
Yeah, that does mean we've had to ban both Sandslash and Beartick. But
they don't have an ability they can run.
Yeah, but so that's what we did, and I think I'm pretty proud with how the tiers have gone. The speed tours for Gen 5 have been going well. The speed tours for low tier and for Insurgents have been going well. And we've got some hype rosters, and I think this is going to be a pretty damn sexy season for the Reggie divs.
I can pop in for what Weather's doing.
Yeah.
This is our first time doing a national Dex league. All of the WPF Weather division, VGC division leagues up until this point have been following the official formats, doing whatever they were doing. And this time we said, not only are we not doing the official format, which is not particularly good for draft. The restricteds in a no max meta with Urshifu is crazy. But we're also saying we're not even going to do a VGC league that would be possible on cartridge. So we're allowing Mega Evolutions, and we're allowing Pokemon that are cut from Sword and Shield, like your favorite Pokemon, Smeargle, and
Ooh,
Empoleon, and Dustox.
Oh boy, my favorite Pokemon.
Yeah. So that's gonna be fun to play with those new tools, and also give all of the Pokemon tools that they lost in the generational shift. So Pokemon like Blastoise are getting Follow Me, and Zapdos is getting Tailwind, and that kind of thing.
I was going to ask
it's going to be a new experience for a lot of people. Sorry?
You've got Mythicals too, right?
Yes, we've got Mythicals, we've got Mega Evolutions, we've got everything you could ask for in a crazy Natdex league.
So I was going to ask about that because I know in VGC that you have like you can only use moves like for the Gen 8 ones. They have to have been bred in Gen 8, so they can only have moves that they get in Gen 8, right?
That's
so
right.
I was wondering, what were you planning on doing with that? Like, were you did the Pokemon that were in Gen 8 have to have the Gen 8 only moves? And if the Pokemon aren't in Gen 8, do they just get their Gen 7 moves? Like, I was actually curious about what your plan with that was.
Good question. Pokemon that are not in Gen 8 have their Gen 7 moveset, with the exception, of course, of cut moves like Hidden Power and Pursuit.
Yeah.
So that means Pokemon like Gliscor will not have access to Dual Wing Beat or Scorching Sands, or Empoleon won't have access to Steel Beam, the Gen 8 exclusive moves. But we also decided to give the Gen 8 Pokemon all of the moves they had in Gen 7. So Zapdos and Blastoise are the examples I used before, but they had Tailwind and Follow Me, respectively, from past games, but aren't able to use them in Gen 8 because they're from Move Tutor or from events. And so those Pokemon get those things back, which means Pokemon like Wartortle and Squirtle will be extremely viable, as well as Magmar and Electabuzz and some other cool things that you wouldn't expect. In past generations, it was a absolute hellish task to get a competitive Magmar because you had to buy like 4 different games on 4 different systems, and it was restrictive to a lot of players because there are some metagames where Magmar is the ideal redirector, being the only fire type Pokemon with Follow Me that resists, for example, both of Mega Mawil's stabs. And so Sejun Park went through the whole process of breeding a Magmar, passing it up, and used it on a world championship team. I don't believe it wasn't on his champ team, which used Pachirisu in a similar way, but he did use it at a significant event. And the fact that you have to go through that whole process just to get a competitively viable Pokemon isn't really fun for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so in an effort to make the games more accessible, Game Freak said using or passed up through home transfer, you can only use moves that are on the Pokemon's movesets in the game, which coincidentally also removes Toxic from the move pools of the vast majority of Pokemon in the game, outside of like Ferrothorn and Toxapex, who still have it for some reason. But since we're playing on Showdown, we don't have any of those restrictions, and so we can allow a free-for-all on whatever moves Pokemon ever would have gotten, including those very rare event things, Follow Me, Magmortar, or Magmar.
Mm-hmm. We said applications are still open until 20th Wednesday, but I am pretty confident that this is not going up before applications close.
No, this is the secret to any good job interview. You fill out only the parts of the application that are relevant to you and like make you look good, and then leave the other parts blank and say, oh, I forgot that, right? And then you look amazing because you left off all the parts that might be putting you in a bad light.
Yeah.
Look, considering I showed off my uni results anyway, that's putting me in a bad enough fucking light as it is. Because it was mostly for the first half of university. I didn't understand how to do university, so yikes. It's like, if you had the second half, I'd be fantastic. But the first half, let's just not talk about it.
You know what, man? At least you figured it out at all. A lot of
Yeah.
people are going to go to uni and they're going to do 4 years partying at best and just sitting at home playing Pokemon Showdown at worst.
Most people
And
don't even graduate university, especially. Like,
See,
in Australia.
what I did was I spent 1 year not partying, and then I dropped out to play Pokemon Showdown.
That's
That's
oh,
goals.
I'm envious.
I mean, to be honest,
stay in school, kids. We were just finishing up talking about weather, the formats, not
Oh,
necessarily
yeah.
what's going on outside.
gotcha. how is the weather outside?
True.
So nice weather we're having.
Wow. First podcast, and we're already resorting to. So how's the weather over there, guys? Man, Australia, that's so far away from the United States. What's
Yeah.
it like, huh?
It's hot and boring, and everything. And if you're not in the city, everything wants to kill you, including the local populace.
That sounds pretty exciting. I don't know how that's boring.
And there is a lot of drugs and casual racism. So that's welcome to Australia.
Yeah.
Well, that last part be unpleasant, but the rest sounds fun.
Bogan
So
is
is
essentially
Bogan a kind of person? Is
it's
this like
essentially
a
Australia rednecks, and most of them are pleasant,
Ah.
fine human beings, but some of them are really like weird,
Racist?
Not even because there's a lot of sort of different like Bogans. There's a lot of different like a lot of different types of people are Bogans, right? But like I've had there's a lot of like Bogan Aboriginals, for example. But I've had one while I was in Macca's for like I was in Macca's and I was dressed up kind of fancy because I had a sort of interview for an internship job thing, and then Macca's is McDonald's, by the way, and then they started accusing me of like, I don't know, killing all of their family or something.
Huh.
Yeah, it was very odd.
Well, I mean, did you kill their family?
Yeah, the obvious question.
They don't have any proof of that. My lawyers have told me no comment. But I'm going to assume not because don't live where I was there. That was in a different city. I was on there like I had a little holiday, and I'm like, you know what? I've got a job.
Oh, you have an alibi.
Yeah, I have an
Interesting.
alibi.
Sounds
of
like you've
not
thought about this a
existing
lot.
there. So, if are we done talking about the WPF?
Yeah, we got through.
You mean
All
we're
the big
done
points.
talking about your murders?
Yes.
I see you're trying to change the subject.
So, hey, who's excited for the Gen 4 games? Brilliant Diamond
Okay, can I-
and Shining Pearl.
Can I ask a question here?
Sure.
So
Yep.
I started playing draft at the very end of Gen 7. My first league was like a OpenZ singles crazy league like that.
Yeah.
The first game I ever played, I was up 5-1. The only thing left Arcanine, and it used Z Will-O-Wisp to get a speed boost and reverse sweep my entire team. Anyways, I started playing after Sword and Shield were announced, and everyone knew that those were the big new games, and so obviously that's where draft was going to progress. But now I'm seeing people have been saying like, well, we gotta wait to do our next season until Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl come out because they're going to be the new games, and people aren't going to want to play the Sword and Shield format once those come out.
No.
But is there some precedent that every time a comes out, that becomes the new draft meta? It was so obviously clear to me that game was just a remake. I didn't expect it to be the competitive environment.
They went out of their way to say like here there are restrictions on online play in those games, and Sword and Shield are still going to be the main competitive games, at least for VGC.
Yeah.
So my thought process would be I don't think there's going to be anything new in those games regarding the Pokemon themselves. I think that they'll be compatible with Sword and Shield, and you can transfer the Pokemon over. And then like Pokemon that weren't in Sword and Shield before might get new moves from the move tutors or something like Flip Turn and Polion, and that could shake up the draft meta a little bit. But I don't. It's not going to be like some grand, huge thing.
It's going to mostly affect like a lot of the Galar Gen 8 leagues, because that's going to basically turn them into essentially like, Nat Dex leagues without a couple of legendaries probably. But I don't think it's going to have that much of an impact. But I think it's just people, because I think Gen 8's better than Gen 7. But I think just there was a big expansion around the end of Gen 7. So this is everyone's first full gen. So I think a lot of people just burnt out because they got really into Gen 8.
Oh yeah, everybody's incredibly bored. That's why we unbanned a bunch of stuff.
People have been bored for a while. That's why, I mean, even VGC and the Reggie games were born in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, this is return to Gen 5. That's all I'm saying. But I don't think they're going to have that much of an impact. I'm more concerned because I play Pokemon to play the actual games because those are fun.
Yeah.
I'm concerned with how the games are going to turn out because every bit I'm hearing is just like, it's making me more and more concerned. They seem to be more like Diamond and Pearl remakes rather than Platinum remakes, which I don't know if anyone remembers, but I do because I replay all the old games a lot.
I absolutely.
And
know.
I was playing the games from before. Diamond and Pearl fucking sucked. Well, okay,
yeah,
no,
they've got a lot of problems.
But they got problems. The difficulty curve is whack. Part of the reason why Cynthia is so famously brutal is because you can't grind for her because there's just the levels in Victory Road are so small and the Elite Four levels are so big that you just get brick walled in an unfun way. It's like a not very hard game until the end, and then it's just like the worst. The actual distribution of Pokemon is garbage. The Elite
They
Four
did.
fire
That's
member,
pretty bad, but
Flint
Flint
has
Flint.
2 fire
A
types.
Drifloon,
Yeah.
a Drifloon, and a Lopunny, and a Steelix.
Yeah. What a fucking
Hey.
great fire Elite
Okay.
Four member.
But Drifblim gets Flare Boost, okay?
Isn't that it? Okay, isn't that its Gen 5 hidden ability?
But still, it's a fire-powered hot air balloon. It's totally a fire type.
I could actually be wrong about that, but
Steelix
Gets
is
fire type.
is no. It's shaped in a way that might make some people feel hot, which makes it a fire type. And we don't even have to talk about Lopunny.
Oh no.
Anyway, so I mean, we haven't seen anything about the level curve. I should hope they adjust the level curve. I imagine other quality of life stuff from like Diamond Pearl to Platinum, like the surfing speed, that was pretty just awful in Diamond and Pearl. Like stuff like that will probably still be there. As far as the different Pokemon you can get, they did already show us more Pokemon in the underground. They made the underground. They put a bunch of new stuff down there.
Hopefully.
And in those new areas, we saw a Houndoom. They showed us a Houndoom.
Okay.
So
That's
another fire type. That's a fire type. We saw a
Yay.
Houndoom. We saw that. We also saw that they aren't bringing back HMs, despite how they said they want to be super faithful. Instead, it's going to be a Poketch app
Yeah. Well, that's
that you can use the HMs on. I don't know if you still have to have like a compatible Pokemon in your party or something like that, but the HMs themselves are not coming back. So like little stuff like that gives me some hope that they'll be enjoyable.
Some of the stuff looks like it's exactly one-to-one, like
a lot of it is
to a fault, and so it feels a little bit like they're just picking and choosing certain things to update, but not other things.
TMs are single use, by the way.
Yeah, that's something.
That's I think lends stuff to Jace's point.
That's something.
They're really picking and choosing, and I know there's like that Twitter thing, Centro Leaks, I think it's called, and they talked about how
Centro.
They've said a lot about how the development of the Gen 4 remakes was weird and complicated. So
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird though, because I feel like not the draft community, but the Pokemon community has been demanding Gen 4 remakes basically since the Gen 3 remakes. And the Gen 3 remakes, and even the Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Let's Go Pokemon and Eevee, were like big overhauls to those games.
Yeah.
They added Pokemon, they added totally new mechanics. They added, Oras, I think, was probably the biggest departure. It added Mega Evolutions in the Delta episode. Like, that was a lot of change from the original. So it's so weird to me that they've decided to take this different direction where they're basically saying to some other studio, right? It's not even Game Freak doing Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Just take this old game we made, update the graphics, and change very minimal design things.
I don't hate that because it's probably giving Game Freak time to actually work on stuff like, Legends Arceus.
Arceus.
Yeah. which, you know,
Yo, like Towns or whatever their game was called.
oh, yeah.
That's what people care about.
Yeah. That random game they made. The game Freak did that wasn't Pokemon. Yeah, I don't remember either.
It's like a lot of people, yeah, like I feel like they sometimes just don't want to make regular Pokemon games anymore. um,
No, there's no way they do, or at least like there is so much financial incentive
yeah,
and like people fighting over the pot that there's no room for creativity or passion. So it's just like people who are actually working on the games are being forced to comply with so many different competing directions.
yeah.
There's no room for the good stuff.
Well, the Pokemon is the most profitable franchise in the world. Like that's just a thing.
Right. Pokemon and Christianity.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can leave that one on the podcast.
No, I like that.
We love all of our WPF members,
Yeah.
no matter what your faith or nationality is. But no matter who you are, Keith is going to call you a. Should we move on to our last agenda item?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's go hot takes.
All right.
Jace, take it away.
Here's my hot take, okay? I'm a little bit less experienced in singles than both of you guys. I've never competed in Psycho Boost or S-Div. But from stuff like team tours and the placement of different people in different leagues and the performance of certain coaches that I've seen across the whole draft community, all the way from like Wi-Fi leagues to like tiny little 20 people Discord servers that I've been in, I would venture to say that the idea that some coaches are so much better and some divisions are so much higher skilled than others across leagues is bullshit. I think that a coach that is in WPF speed could beat somebody who was in LD Masters if they both had appropriate prep support. Because ultimately, Pokemon is a game that is influenced so much by a couple smart reads and RNG that even over the course of a whole season, I think you could take some coaches who have experience and skill, but who haven't made a name for themselves or anything like that, and throw them up against the Mount Rushmore people, and it wouldn't be a blowout.
I mean, like, if they've got a lot of... Well, I don't... I get what you're saying, and there are examples of that happening, but I think that's really wrong. Mostly because... How do I put this? Prep support's fine, but people need to know also how to actually use the prep support. Like, you can give someone... let me try to find another example. You can give someone, like, a machine gun and say, okay, and take them to... You can give someone a machine gun and give someone a handgun, but if someone actually knows how to aim and shoot, they're going to be able to beat them in a duel, right? Like...
Right, of course.
I don't think you can actually level the playing field that much.
But
I don't,
my point is, what's the line, right? At what point do you become trained? Because if you say, it's not necessarily like some rando off the street who's holding this machine gun, right? We're deep in metaphor land now. It's not some rando off the street. You take somebody, even take me. I've never played in WPF singles, but I've won singles leagues. I've made finals lots. I run my own league. I have no name whatsoever in the real world, but I understand every part of draft league battling, from drafting to prep to forming a game plan to making plays, every part of that. Maybe using myself is just going to make me sound like an egotist, so I'll use someone else.
Mr. Jace.
Someone else.
No, that's too obvious. We'll call him Jay. Yeah.
There's this coach that I know. You guys, he goes to another school. Anyways, I think somebody who is not at the same experience level and like reverence level, but who still has a solid understanding of the game and who has enough experience to like understand all of the concepts that are central to play and apply them, that I think the skill gap between such a player and someone like Gypsy King is like the go-to name, I feel. Or like what's the other guy? Hiker Toad. I think that skill gap is not very big.
Okay.
I agree with the sentiment to an extent. I think if you've got, like you said, like draft league goats, like these insane players who have like so many notches on their belt versus, again, like you said, someone from WPF speed. You have both players prepping and playing to the peak of their ability. I don't think there's a contest, but in big butt, there's so many factors that go into competing in anything, but especially in Pokemon. If your prep's not perfect or you're not playing perfect, you had a bad day, or RNG is not on your side. I think after a certain point of understanding of the game, yes, anybody can really beat anybody. I personally don't really care who I'm playing. I'm like, yeah, if I prep well, play well, I can beat them. It doesn't matter. Um, but yeah, like if you have both sides absolute peak, one of them is an established veteran that wins all the time, one of them is not. You're gonna bet on the guy who's the established veteran, and he's probably gonna win. But yeah,
Sure, but how much of that
depending on the day, anybody's capable of beating anybody.
how much of that is coming down to other factors? Like how much of it is coming down to that person having friends who have seen every set possible who can predict those things? How much of it is coming down to that person being so committed to draft that they have sweated through every pair of white underwear they own and now can only own black underwear because they're just so sweaty and you can tell, who just like
What?
focus so hard. Please cut that part. Please cut me saying that. I'm so embarrassed.
No.
Is that like a
You don't get out
requirement
of
to
that.
enter
You know what I'm
your
saying?
Draft league, you have to show a picture of your sweatiest underwear, and that's how.
How sweaty are you?
Okay.
That's how.
They're just so bloody sweaty. They're so sweaty about everything that they are like prepping 40 hours a week, running 10 mocks. How much of the skill gap is that as opposed to like, get the two people in the room, actually compare their inherent skill. Like, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe there's a hot take. I would go out on a limb and say players in LD or OLT or even like DGBA prep harder and maybe even prep smarter than players in, for example, speed or defense or a lower division or a smaller league. And I would venture a guess that a lot of what people call skill or talent really comes down to just being around longer, being more experienced, or spending more time prepping.
Yeah,
And experience,
that's something I absolutely do agree with. Pokemon, there's no mechanical skill involved with Pokemon, and mechanical skill in a competitive game is something that you like you have to be good at that, and it's hard, and you can't there's no way to 100% guarantee that something's going to work all the time outside of your own mechanical skill. Pokemon's a game about knowledge and decision making, and almost entirely just comes down to experience. Just how much you know, how many times you've been in the same situations to make the right decisions.
Yeah, I feel like I'm stupid now.
I think a lot of it's also just confidence, and just experience as well.
All right, I think I'm down to change my stance to agree with the fact that the game is mainly about knowledge. But when we celebrate players for their skill, I feel like oftentimes we use words like talented.
No, we mostly just use built different, to be honest.
Built different.
Goated.
Goated is fine. Goated is goated is goated is goated. So
yeah,
true.
constructed
But
alternative.
I think what people leave out is that, and what it sounds like you're saying, maybe just you, Kachurin, but maybe also you're feeling this way, Keith, is that so much of it just comes down to practice or experience. And I think that would be a much more appropriate term when talking about these players. Say, dude, have you ever seen Gypsy King play? That guy is so wise. He's so learned.
Wise.
He's so experienced. That's my hot take.
Wise.
We should stop using cracked or talented or skilled. I demand that every member of the WPF server instead skilled players by
Intelligent. Why?
You
learn it. Like
you will. You will
is
listen.
what, a noob? That's not fun. What's the opposite of wise?
Dumbass.
Dumbass. Exactly. Yes.
I do have a hot take.
If you
but
got one,
it's
yeah,
not
go ahead.
Pokemon related at all.
That's fine. We could veer off
Okay.
Pokemon. Mine, I had like some shitty one.
I was trying to think of a hot take, and it's like I could just talk about Tornadus Therian, but I'll have plenty of time to do
That's
that.
what I was gonna. I was gonna talk about Torrent
Oh,
and how
please
much I
do.
think it sucks.
Oh fuck! I'm fighting you. Let's go. You're a
Wait,
fucking idiot.
wait.
You're a
Keith, you
you're
want-
a fucking idiot, Kachurin. Where are you? I will take you to the.
Yeah,
next
I'm
level.
not. Okay, I don't think it sucks. I'm just not a fan. I don't think
Oh,
I don't think I
love
would
it.
ever
I
take
love
it
Torrent.
as my top tier Pokemon. I'm just not. I'm not a huge
It's
fan.
not my
I
strong
don't
Pokemon.
see it. I don't see it.
Hey,
You know?
there's a Jace. What's your opinion on?
They break the tie. What do you think of Torrent in
I'm
singles,
glad you asked.
Mr. VGC man?
Yes. Well, if you're asking me about VGC, I've never used it. I've never used it in VGC,
Yeah.
but I think it's really quite underrated in the no Dynamax format. I think Regenerator is actually a busted ability in that format, and
True,
if you are able to like EV it well, then it could be fantastic there. In a Dynamax format, it's just a nothing mon. It's like it only has one stab, and it's stab airstream, and
I mean,
it's
that's
okay, but
useful, and it's got Tailwind and Taunt.
it doesn't have. Oh, it does have Tailwind. You're right, but the offensive stats are just not good enough. The defensive stats aren't good enough. It's really just like a speedy Tailwind Pokemon. I don't know. Maybe it's better than Aerodactyl because it has like other options it can do. But I think it's maybe underexplored would be the term. But for singles,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying for singles. You know, it's just a fast tailwind mon. What do you do when you do with that in singles?
for singles, I'm actually on team. I'm on team Kachurin here. I think
Let's go.
Quarantine is overrated. I think
Okay.
it has mythology around it that make people think it's good. But I think it's a mon. It's a mon. It's got value. It's pivoting around, but it takes like 60% from Mega Scizor Bullet Punch. What are you doing? What are you doing?
And now we've come full circle. Mega Scizor is broken.
No.
So true. We can all
Excellent. Thank you for your time.
Okay.
All right, should we wrap it up?
Here's okay. Whatever. And I think just it getting Nasty Plot and Boots has opened it up so much in this generation, and I think people that don't like it because I miss from Hurricane, I just really, I don't agree with them at all, and I feel like that's it's just sort of I think that's where a lot of the hate comes from because people just remember the fact that they missed a Hurricane with it, or they just try to bring Nasty Plot every week when sometimes the best set to bring is like your sort of toolbox utility pivot set because it's just a fantastic mid-ground into basically everything and enables all your team, and I don't know, I fucking love Taunty. I will draft it out if it's free and it's not like pick I'm wanting the top 4 picks, I'll just pick it. But unless it's someone that drafts every Therian I can.
Torrentee also. Oh fuck! I was about to make the joke. I was gonna say Torrentee has a hidden strength, which is if you draft it, you are only 2 Pokemon away from drafting triple Therian.
That is
true.
Which is the
Very
absolute
true.
best way to lose the
the only VGC game I've played in the past year, I've had triple Therian with it.
Did you win?
Well, it was for a tryout for PWS, and I beat HCK with it, and then I lost to Mick because they have Metagross, and I didn't have a single thing on my team for Metagross.
Hey, you beat HCK though. That's pretty lit. That's pretty sick.
And that's why HCK didn't show up to the recording.
Yeah, that's right. I was gonna bring him in. I was gonna embarrass him.
He's still mad at getting rolled in smoke by triple Therian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, we've touched on Mega Scizor. We've touched on Torrentee.
Yep.
We've touched on triple Therian. Fuck. Do I have any signature Pokemon? Everybody wave goodbye to Purloin.
Goodbye, Purloin.
Goodbye, Purloin.
And is that where we're going to end it? So, if
Yeah.
so, goodbye,
sure.
people who are listening to this, all 5 of you.
All 5 of you.
Yeah,
You're
all
the
5 of
goats.
you.
You're the goats.
Thank you.
You're so wise.
hey, if you made it this far, comment, thank you, Purloin. And if you do, I will remove Keith and Kachurin from their spots and put you in there instead.
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe,
No.
validate us, all that bullshit. Is that what YouTubers do?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Like, comment,
Hit the notification bell.
retweet.
Make sure you get videos in your inbox.
Yeah.
Subscribe to Mancini the Amazing.
Yeah. PM your local member of parliament this video. Yeah.
We're really changing the world. This is the platform.
So,
All right.